Death Stranding 2 on the beach is finally here. Hideo Kojima returns with another wild, atmospheric, and deeply philosophical ride through a shattered world. And once again, it's anything but conventional. But is this sequel a truly bold step forward, or is Kojima just being weird for weird's sake? Let's break it all down: gameplay, story, visuals, pacing, and decide, is Death Stranding 2 a next-gen masterpiece or a cinematic overreach? The first Death Stranding was divisive. Some loved its meditative delivery, gameplay, and strange world-building. Others bounced off hard, calling it a walking simulator with too much pretension. On the Beach takes place several years after the original. Sam Porter Bridges is back, older, wearier, and dealing with the lingering effects of the first game's events. America might be somewhat reconnected, but the world's still broken, and now we're going global. The sequel shifts part of the action to what appears to be a fictionalized version of Australia. There's sand, there's surf, but there's also death, decay, and surreal enemies pulling you into another realm. From the very first hour, Kojima makes it clear this is a new kind of journey. Norman Reedus returns as Sam, and his performance is even more grounded and human this time around. He's no longer the reluctant loner. We see more emotion, more doubt, and more conflict. Leah Seydoux is also back as Fragile, but with a twist. She's no longer just a supporting character. She plays a major role in driving the new narrative forward and has some of the best scenes in the game. Newcomers include Elle Fanning, who plays a mysterious companion connected to the beach. Her performance is captivating and subtle, grounding some of the game's stranger sequences with real emotional weight. Troy Baker also returns, this time more chaotic than ever, and his role, without spoiling too much, might be one of the most unhinged yet in Kojima's history. Facial capture, voice acting, and motion performance are all industry-leading here. Visually, it often feels like watching a film, but with full player control. Let's talk gameplay. The original Death Stranding was focused on traversal, balancing cargo, navigating terrain, and slowly building infrastructure. That core remains intact, but it's now massively refined. The terrain is more varied. You'll traverse deserts, ruins, forests, and flooded regions. Weather now plays a bigger role too. Sandstorms, tidal waves, and environmental hazards are dynamically generated and absolutely impact your delivery routes. Combat is much more flexible. You now have the ability to craft modular tools, command new types of bots, and engage in both stealth and direct conflict. One standout addition: vehicle customization. You can upgrade and mod your bike, truck, and even a strange crab-like mech used for vertical travel. There's also cooperative gameplay now, sort of. You can't team up in real time, but the asynchronous multiplayer is expanded. Players can build massive structures, leave supplies, or trigger shared global events. It all feels more alive, more reactive, and more intuitive than before. You'll face off against both human enemies and otherworldly threats called the Spectres. These are ghost-like figures that emerge from dimensional tears and can drag you into mini-boss arenas that feel ripped straight from nightmares. Boss fights are cinematic and surreal. One early encounter takes place in a submerged city where buildings bend and collapse around you in real time. Another features a massive whale-like BT that can phase in and out of time. These fights aren't just about shooting. They're puzzles, environmental challenges, and emotional confrontations all rolled into one. And yes, Kojima's trademark weirdness is dialed up to 11. Graphically, Death Stranding 2 might be one of the most visually stunning games of the generation. Built on the latest iteration of the Decima engine, everything, from facial animation to lighting to weather effects, is jaw-dropping. The environments feel painterly at times. Giant sand dunes stretch into misty mountain ranges. Ruined cities echo with haunting silence. And the beach itself? It's still the most iconic and unsettling setting in modern gaming. Sound design is equally masterful. Whether it's the crunch of gravel, the distant echo of waves, or the ethereal score that kicks in during key moments, everything feels purposefully placed. Low Roar and other indie artists return on the soundtrack, delivering those signature melancholy tracks that hit right when the emotion spikes. As expected, Kojima doesn't shy away from heavy themes. On the Beach explores aging, loneliness, rebirth, and what it means to leave a legacy. The idea of connection is still central, but now it's layered with guilt, loss, and sacrifice. There are long stretches of silence, philosophical dialogue, and dreamlike sequences that may or may not make sense the first time through. That's part of the charm, or frustration, depending on how you feel about Kojima's storytelling. Some moments are beautifully subtle, others are blunt and bizarre, but it's all unmistakably intentional. No game is perfect, and Death Stranding 2 certainly has its flaws. Pacing can still be slow, especially early on. If you didn't like the first game's quiet, meditative nature, this one won't convert you. There are cutscenes that run for 10 to 15 minutes. Some sequences feel overly indulgent. And yes, some dialogue leans toward the cringy or overly self-important. Also, while the game is technically polished, there are a few minor bugs, floating objects, weird NPC pathing, but nothing game-breaking. So, is Death Stranding 2 on the beach worth it? If you're a fan of Kojima's vision, this is him at his most confident and ambitious. It's haunting, beautiful, mysterious, and sometimes maddening. But it's never boring. It refines the core gameplay of the original while expanding it in smart, creative ways. The story will stick with you. The visuals will blow your mind. And the soundtrack will live rent-free in your head long after the credits roll. Final score. If you're open to something strange, slow-burning, and thoughtful, 9 out of 10. If you're expecting fast-paced action, probably a 7. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Death Stranding 2? Did it live up to the hype or leave you stranded? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see other reviews and previews of up and coming games, click on the video to the left. Also, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more AAA reviews, previews, and gaming news. Until next time, stay connected.